So just to get us started, would you mind just giving me your name and your position?
Yep, my name is Laura Miller and I'm an Associate Professor in the discipline of occupational therapy within the School of Allied Health at the Australian Catholic University.
Great. And so just to start us off, when did you become involved with the Brisbane Paralympic football program, and what kind of made you decide to get involved with them?
So I've known Jay for several years now. So we started talking to each other probably around 2017, 2018, where we were looking for community engagement partners as part of the Bachelor of Occupational Therapy. And we were seeking organisations who were working with people in the community in areas that of diverse settings, so diverse socio-economic or cultural backgrounds, people with different abilities or disabilities, and we were wanting to form really collaborative relationships with community-based organisations who would benefit from involvement of occupational therapy students, and the students would benefit from their involvement with the community organisation. And so Jay and I started talking about some of the different projects that he had been involved in before with universities, and we decided that there were some opportunities initially for our fourth year students to get involved with doing some scoping around community development needs and some areas that Jay would like to develop and expand within the Brisbane Paralympic football program. And from those four students, we've then extended our partnership into the partnership between ACU and the Brisbane Paralympic football program for what it is today. And so that has really grown from those four students who were completing that community development program now through to volunteers across all different disciplines and faculties within the university, and also other universities to become involved in the program and engage with the community.
And so what does that involvement look like now in terms of scope, but also in terms of the kind of work that the ACU students do with the BPFP?
Well, we are really driven by the needs of the BPFP, and what we want from our partnership with the BPFP is a mutually beneficial relationship where we can provide services and skills and opportunities to the BPFP, and equally our students develop skills and build relationships and connections with their community. So we are now seeing that we have students participating, like I said, across all different faculties, which might include supporting children to participate in BPFP activities on the weekend. It might be supporting them during the week to achieve a goal that they're wanting to work on through our online support programs that we've been working with the BPFP. We also have continued our community development relationship with the BPFP, so working closely with them in developing grants or applications for different funding bodies. And also we have just commenced some initial exploratory research in how to enable children to participate better in the BPFP activities, and understanding what strategies people use to be able to support their participation in the BPFP. So it's really broad across a number of different areas and a number of different faculties now.
And so I am quite interested to hear about some of that theory behind it and some of that research in terms of organising things like these for people with disabilities. So what are some of the difficulties that you might be faced with in organising sport for people with disabilities and in getting them engaged in that?
So I think involving people with disabilities in community sport is critical to their social, emotional, physical, spiritual development, and I think that we have a responsibility to create programs that are accessible for people with disabilities to not only attend but actually be involved in. And we know that children and youth with disabilities have much more sedentary type activities and preferences, and that we really need to improve the accessibility and the affordability of community-based sports for children with disabilities to be able to actually participate with their peers in the community. And like I said before, it's critical to children and youth development, and for not just around physical strength or endurance, but also around connecting with other people, making friends, developing self-esteem and self-efficacy. And we really see an enormous value in partnering with the BPFP to enable children to participate and young people to participate in the community sport. So we see from the research, people tell us that engaging and sustained engagement in participating in sport for people with disabilities is difficult. And it is difficult for lots of different reasons. Some of the barriers might be around accessibility. So either the programs are too far from people, or they take too long, or it's too difficult to get there. They might not have accessible venues in terms of bathrooms or accessibility to the grounds. Many programs in community sport are unaffordable for families. They're very expensive. There's lots of additional unexpected costs in participating in a community sport club. But also we see that children might be welcome to attend, but when they actually are at the community sport activity, they really don't feel involved or included in the program. And what I think that the BPFP and what Jay has done so beautifully for the families and the communities that access that program is that he has worked very hard to overcome those barriers to involvement of children with disabilities in community sport. And he has systematically addressed some of those big challenges that I've just spoken about before.
Yeah, and I think when you go down to the BPFP, you can see that everything is very deliberately set up. I went down for the first time this weekend, and the obstacle course I thought was quite cool.
Yes.
So what are some of the factors that you need to take into account, or some of the things that you might have to prioritize when organising sport for people with disabilities that you might not have to for other people?
I think it's important to identify that participation in community sport is comprised of two things. There's the attendance component, which is the actually being able to get to the venue, and what makes it harder or easier to attend. And then the other piece is the involvement. And I think this is the critical piece, which is around what is the experience that the person has once they are actually attending, and what helps them to be engaged and motivated and participate in that activity. And so when you talk about the obstacle course or the activities that have been set up at the BPFP, there's a lot of careful thought that goes into the kids who are going to be attending those sessions and how the activities are set up and constructed in order to be able to facilitate that involvement piece of getting kids included and getting kids engaged. So part of it is around setting the just right challenge, so knowing where to target the activity and how you can grade it up and down to make it more difficult or easier for children of all different abilities, and thinking about that in the context of community sport with children who might have different challenges or problems with accessing a particular activity, and thinking very carefully through how you can grade and modify that activity so that it's just right for the child, so that it's challenging enough that they want to persist with it and master it, but it's not so challenging that they disengage and feel defeated and that they can't achieve it. It's also about really understanding the needs of the child and understanding that what the child's likes are, what their interests are, what really motivates them and engages them to participate, knowing when you need to back off, knowing when you need to provide more support. And I think that the way that the volunteers get to know all of the children and know how they communicate, what they enjoy, what really gets them excited is really critical to the program. It's understanding the supports that need to be in place and when to increase those supports or actually decrease the supports to enable the child to thrive in that environment. It's about ensuring that kids have fun. So it's not about therapy or about, ticking off tasks that they need to do. It's really, I think you'll see the laughs and the giggles and the smiles and the pats on the back and the sheer joy that you see from the kids is critical to the success of that program and their sense of involvement in that. But it's also then learning new skills and feeling that they have the ability to be competent and confident to try new things and to give things a go and know that that just being involved and just having a go is okay, and they're really encouraged to do that to whatever level they can.
Yeah, and do you think you'd mind then kind of elaborating on what some of those real core benefits are?
So I think for children with disabilities and for any person in the community, engaging in sport and leisure activities is really important for overall physical health and wellbeing. So it's good to be involved in activities that get you up and moving and running around and learning skills and developing, some of those underlying skills that people need in their lives. But I think critically the benefit when I look at the BPFP is how children feel included in something that is important and meaningful to them, and how they love to be part of something, to be with other people, playing alongside other people or making friends with other people, but that real sense of involvement and inclusion in that activity and the sense of belongingness that provides to them and as a child or a young person involved in the program, then also to their family as well. So I think that that social connection or that connectedness and belongingness is really important, and the BPFP really offers that to children within an environment that is not only fun and engaging, but is also challenging and helps them to learn new skills and develop skills in different areas.
Yeah, and I think that what you said about the fact that a lot of the volunteers really get to know the kids definitely must help with that. And Jay was saying to me that like a lot of them, started out on their placement and now they just go back because they can. So what is it that you like to see your students getting out of this when they go and volunteer at the BPFP?
Well, I think students, when they first go to the BPFP, they don't really know what to expect. And within a couple of minutes, you can just see this, the sparkle in their eyes and the smiles on their face. And I think there's a strong sense of that, what I talked about in terms of that connectedness, that they are working within such a really positive and supportive environment from the perspectives of the students and of the children. But in terms of what I'm hoping that our students are getting out of their involvement with the BPFP is really that ability to connect and communicate with people of all different abilities, of all different backgrounds, and be able to get to know that person, work with them, understand what's meaningful to them, and then work with them to help them to achieve their goals. And I think that our students have really benefited from the ability to work with children over an extended period of time. It's not just a come and leave, it's really becoming part of the BPFP family and being able to develop their skills personally and professionally over a period of time. And then I think that as their skills develop and as their confidence and their capability improves, we see that the kids and the connection with the kids and their families also develops and improves. And so it's really a beautiful reciprocal relationship between the BPFP and the students, where we're continuously learning and growing together. And that is really what I see the students benefiting from their engagement in their activities with the community.
Yeah, and so from what I heard as well is Jay has been trying to expand the organisation out a bit. They do some clinics down in Logan and stuff, just because, you know, there's kids everywhere that need a program like this, right? And so I'm interested to know what you think are the important things that an organisation or an area should know before they get involved with a program like the BPFP.
Well, I think that Jay's passion and commitment to the program is infectious, and I think that he brings an enormous wealth of knowledge and expertise, but also love and passion to the program. And I think that the success of the BPFP has been how Jay has been able to communicate and connect with people in the community and bring them on board to be able to work towards his dream and his vision for the BPFP. So I think that for people that are looking at getting involved with the BPFP or looking at a program similar to the BPFP, having someone that's got the drive and the passion and the vision for their community program has really been critical to the success of the BPFP. I think also Jay is very attuned to the needs of his families and the needs of the community, and he works really hard to overcome barriers. So nothing is too hard for him, nothing is impossible. He finds challenges as opportunity to solve problems and find solutions to things, and he connects with people who can help him achieve those goals. And so when there have been challenges for communities or people to participate, Jay has definitely reached out to us and talked to us about what can we do here? How can we work together to overcome this barrier and enable this child, this family, this community to get involved?
And so before we finish today, is there anything else that you would like to add, or anything that we haven't quite talked about yet?
I think that one of the important things is that we really have a relationship based on mutual respect, and we're a partnership. We do things together, and we discuss complex problems, and we can share our thoughts and feelings and in a really honest and collaborative way. And I think that trust and respect has really underpinned our partnership and has helped it to grow and flourish over time. I also think that the students' enthusiasm and willingness to take on anything that Jay puts out there is a real credit to them and has really helped them grow as individuals. And I think that, and I hope that the BPFP sees that they are as enthusiastic about the BPFP as Jay is. But I really think the families and the children who are part of the BPFP are the real heroes of the story in terms of how they come week after week, they turn up, they bring their children, they give them the opportunity to participate, and then Jay makes it happen on the field. And I think that all of those three things working together is really what creates the BPFP and makes it such a special place to be.
All right.